Okay, this morning we're going to take a peek inside the building, and we've had a lot of people that have asked, how do we get our seeds, what do we do with them when we receive them, and how do we make sure that they're good quality. So we're going to take a peek inside the glass doors, and we'll see you in the warehouse. This is Dick Zondag, the garden doctor. Many people ask us where our seeds come from, how we handle them once they come in, so we decided to do a video on how we handle our seeds. We grow very little of our own seed because we have such a short growing season, and it would take an army of plant breeders to keep up on the new varieties. So what we do is we get seed samples in from all over the world. We test them in our test garden to make sure that they do well for short growing seasons, which we have here in Randolph. And so I want to introduce Mike. He is our seed packing and receiving manager, and Mike was going to explain how we receive the seed and what we do with them.
Okay, so for every lot of every variety of seed we receive in, we collect samples, which are both to keep it. We actually keep a sample in our germination lab and take enough seed in addition to test every 6 months for vegetables and every 12 months for flowers. And so the basic, idea is when a lot comes in, right here we have a lot of, it's a goddess melon. We want to be sure that we have the correct amount we receive the correct amount of seeds. So we compare the customer's packaging and packing list against our PO. And at that time, we assign a lot, which is based on what supplier the seed is from, also the year we received it in. Other information we keep on our sample envelope that we take for every variety is the amount that we received, variety name, the supplier's lot, the lot we assigned, seeds per pound, the origin of the seed, what country it's from, and other relevant germination information. So we will basically, like I said, confirm that we received the correct amount, take the file sample, which in the case of a vegetable here is 1,200 seeds, weigh that out, put the file sample in the file envelope, and this goes up to our germination lab, where basically there's an envelope for every lot of every variety of seed we've received that is still a viable lot. And it's stored even after basically we've stopped testing it for a certain amount of time as a file sample in the germination lab.
Don't we get the seed germination from the supplier? Don't we trust them? Is that why we have to do the germination?
We do, and not always. Also, sometimes the supplier's germination when we receive it in is not within our 6-month time frame or 12-month time frame, so we automatically right away send it up to the lab for a test. So everything is tested in a very timely manner. If we receive a lot in that has just been tested from a reputable supplier, I guess we can sort of make a decision based on or use that germination data. But generally, yes, we sort of take it upon ourselves to make sure that that germination information is right.
Okay, now we're in the germination lab here at the Seed Company, and I want to introduce to you Tanya, who is our seed tech supervisor, and she does all the testing of the seeds. And like Mike said, when he receives the seeds in, he pulls a sample and gets it up to Tanya. And it's not that we don't trust the companies that we buy our seeds from, it's just that once it gets in our warehouse, it's our seed, and so we want to make sure that it's our germinations. We also do send germination out once in a while to test, just to make sure that our germinations are coming out the same as a professional labs would come out. So I want to turn it over to Tanya. I guess the first thing I'll ask you is, Tanya, about how many tests do you do a week? And
About
you know,
650. About
Yeah.
650 tests we have running through here on a constant basis.
and we have a crew of about, what, 4 or 5?
Five.
Five
Yeah.
that are working.
Including, so 6 including me.
Okay. And the seed sample, is there, how many seeds do you test in a sample?
That's a great question. So we test 400 seeds in a sample. We follow what's called AOSA rules, and those are rules that were set down in conjunction with the government.
So there are standards that we follow. They come down from the federal government, but we try to add, 5 to 10% on top of those standards so that we maintain high quality seeds, because the thing we want to do is we want to keep people coming back to us, and the only way you do that is to give people a high quality product.
Exactly. And in addition, we do provide customer support to an extent if someone is having trouble. We do have a horticulturalist. I do respond to emails and look into seed lots. I'm always available to ensure that what a customer has purchased is not only to the government standards but to our standards.
Yeah, because we mark our seed packets with the lot numbers. So if somebody does have problems with this germination, if they have the seed packet, they have what lot number that is for that particular variety, so we can go back into the computer. And the other thing that we do, because we test the vegetable seeds every 6 months and the flower seeds every year, we keep track of that. So if we have a lot of seed that stays in the seed warehouse for more than a year, we can watch the germination, so that if we see that the germination is going down, we can do another test. And if the seed is below the standards, what do we do?
If the seed is below the standards, we have a donation process.
Okay.
We also have what we call the destroy process. Basically, we get rid of it.
Right.
Most of the time we sell out. Those are unusual, to be honest. And if a seed comes up with an unusual test that I don't really trust, we do have another lab to send it to see what's going on.
Okay.
Just to get that confirmation that it is what we think it is. And it's not unusual for me to test early.
Okay.
If I'm concerned with the seed.
So let's see what our seed testing lab looks like.
All right. So once the seeds have come from Mike's place, which you guys just saw, we get a sample, okay? And from this sample, it has all of the information of everywhere it has been and where it needs to go. In addition, we keep records in the computer and on paper. But we then take these seeds and we set seeds. So at the bench, we set our seeds, again, according to standards that have been established. And now this is one that has already grown. It's already gone through the germinator. But you can see how we set them in the material as substrate that we set them with. So once the seeds have been set, here's our walk-in germinator. This is one of 3. But then you can see we have the space here. We're able to accommodate for dark requirements as well as light requirements. And the moisture, the humidity level is maintained, the light is maintained, and the temperature is maintained.
Okay, so we package the seed here in the seed room in a variety of different ways, and that's basically dependent on not only the size of the lot of, or like the number of seeds in a package, but also how big the seeds are. For our very small seed count packages, such as like our tomatoes at 30 or 10 seeds, or peppers, cabbage, that kind of thing, we use these old mill machines a lot. We have 5 or 6 of these in the room. Basically what it is there's a hopper which vibrates on the top of the machine. We can put a given amount of seeds in the hopper, which rotates them up to the top, and basically they run down the chute and is counted by either a bulb or another mechanism in your box here. There's a dual chute, so we can kind of go back and forth, sort of be filling 2 packages at a time. Right now we actually have an Amish paste tomato that is in the hopper, and I can just kind of demonstrate how that works. We set on the digital screen here how many seeds per package and then how many packages in a run. So it's pretty simple to set up. Once everything's ready to go, there's sensors on either chute. You just stick the package in there. So 33 seeds.
So if we're saying there are 30 seeds in a package, how many do we usually put in?
We always do a percentage overage. On a 30 seed package like this for tomatoes, we'll put 3 extra seeds in. So if it's a 250 seed package, we'll put 257 seeds in. 1,000 seeds, we put 1,025. So we do always put a few extra seeds in, not only to ensure that, well, it's just a good thing to do in general, but this way we're making sure that we're not falling short by one. All right, so here to, I guess, show you our data tech machine is Crystal. Crystal helps with a lot of the filling and checking in seeds, along with a lot of other things. This machine is basically, it's a counter which has 3 like laser counting heads in the bulk of the machine here. We'll use this for our higher seed count packages, and if you're running a package that requires 1,025 seeds, it will tell you that it put 1,027 seeds in the package, so it's very accurate. It's also very fast. Actually, right now we have some lettuce, some Paris Island lettuce that we can run a few packages of. It's set to 1,000 seeds, so 1,025 is what our number is going to be that we're going to put in the package. In the system, we have a profile for nearly every vegetable or flower variety or type that we have here in the warehouse. So we don't need to calibrate the machine every single time, but rather just come to it and say we want to package lettuce, a type of lettuce, and how many seeds per package, how many packages in the run.
Okay, Mike is going to demonstrate one of our newer packing machines where the seed is put in the blue hopper, it comes down into the bowl where it's rotated around, and then it fills the packet. So
this machine, rather than being a counter, is more of a time and volume type counter, so we can use it for the sort of less expensive seed where we can have a little bit of overage to ensure that there's enough in the package. Right now we have a calico corn, which is at 1 ounce. So this is good for packages weighed in ounces or half an ounce or that type of thing. But I will hit the button and let you see how it works. So we just ran a few packages and just check weighed one, and it's 1.18 ounces, which is, you know, our one ounce for the corn, 1/10 of an ounce for the package, and a little bit of overage. So we check weigh a lot of these to make sure that everything's working correctly. All right, so here we have Janice. She's been helping out in the seed room for a long time. Actually used to run the seed room. And what we have in here is some green arrow peas. Basically, this machine is a ball Coleman machine that has a couple counting heads, and it's a very accurate machine also. Basically, we're putting our peas in the hopper. There's a vibrating chute, and as the peas fall through the box, they're counted, again, very accurately. With this machine, we calibrate before every lot that we run to ensure like a lower and upper parameter, and anything that falls between those two, I guess, lines is counted as a seed. Anything that doesn't is dust or chaff or something else. So it's very accurate that way. Janice, if you want to just run a few packages, there's a foot pedal. And basically, we're just going back and forth. It's a dual chute type operation.
we not only fill packets with high-tech machines, but we have a machine here that we've been using for probably 90, 100 years. and it's worked well. It handles all of our bigger seeds. The bulk seed goes up on the top in the balcony there. It goes into the big hopper. And Mike, why don't you show them how it works?
Yeah, basically it's gravity fed. The seed is gravity fed down through the, I guess, tubing here into a wheel that runs, basically distributing the seed evenly into a scale here. And so if we want the scale to dump at 4.7 ounces, we can set that. We can set it at 4.9 ounces, 8 ounces. So this is used for, we use this machine for a lot of our like large 1,000 count seed, 750 count pea, anything that's like real large seed that we have a large size of.
Okay, along the same lines as the 100-year-old machine, some of the seed does not lend itself to being machine packed, and so a lot of the seeds that are very irregular, a lot of the flower seeds especially, have tails on them or different things, and so what we do is we hand pack it. We have a shovel that it's about the same amount of seed every time, and Liz here puts the seeds on the scale, and we know exactly how much weight we have to have in that packet to either get the right amount of seed in the packet. And so not only high tech, but we do go a little bit low tech on some of the seeds. Okay, now that the seed is checked in, the sample is pulled so that it's going up to the germination department. Mike, why don't you describe a little bit about how many different varieties of seeds we have, how many lots of seed, how they're stored, you know, what temperature and that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, so off the top of my head, it's probably an estimate of about 4,000 varieties of seed. And of those varieties, we may have 2 or 3 lots of a given variety. So at any one time, there could be 15,000 lots of seed in the cooler here. This cooler area is kept at 50 degrees and 50% relative humidity, which is kind of the goal in a seed storage area, which has prevented seed from going bad at a much, like before we had this cooler, you know, lots would go bad at a much higher rate. So this has really helped greatly. But basically in the cooler here, we have an area where we store the smaller seed like your tomatoes, peppers, flowers. In the middle racks, we have anything, you know, herbs, squash, cucumbers, basically any other vegetable variety you can think of. We even have an organic storage section, so our organic offerings are stored in a separate designated place in our cooler. And I guess we have a whole other half of the cooler designated for our larger seed, like our peas, beans, and corn, which are usually brought in on pallets.
So thanks, Mike, for giving us a tour of the packing and the seed storage. We appreciate all the hard work that you do to get our customers the best possible seeds for their gardens and their homes. So thank you, Mike.
Yep, no problem.
So that's what we do in the seed area. Mike showed you how we receive and warehouse the seeds, and Tanya showed you our germination lab where we try to make sure that you have good quality seed for your gardens and so that you'll get good production when you plant our seeds. This is Dick Zondag, the Garden Doctor.